Hi, this is Bo Blackwell, Director of Education for ClickBank. In this video, we're going to talk about how to optimize your conversions by building the trust and reputation that you have with potential customers. So before they're willing to buy from you, there are typically three things that prospects or potential customers need to do before they're going to be willing to take that plunge and go ahead and buy from you. So those things are they need to know you, they need to like you, and they need to trust you. So those things are sometimes referred to as the KLT. They need to know you, like you, trust you. Those have a huge impact on conversion rate because most people that are discovering you through the internet probably aren't familiar with you. You know, you're maybe not a household name, likely not a household name. You know, you're not someone who's on TV, and so they want to buy things from you. So it's going to be important to build up their knowledge, like, and trust of you before they're going to be willing to get out their wallets and actually purchase your product. So one of the first things that you can do to impact that is think about, are you coming across as a real person? Do you have an actual identity that you're putting behind the product? Are you willing to put your name behind it, your face behind it? Is this someone that people can identify with? A lot of people think that when you're trying to sell an information product, you need to come across as perfect and as all-knowing and never make a mistake in this area. But a lot of times by introducing some kind of authenticity and showing, yes, I'm a real person too. Here's who I am. Here are the mistakes that I made, and I've learned from them, and now I'm going to teach you what I've learned so that you can avoid those mistakes. That can be a great way for people to be able to really identify with you and trust you. So think about, does your branding and does your product have a real personality attached to it? Next up, appearance isn't everything, but I wanted to show you a couple of examples of websites that are in the wedding dress niche so that you can kind of see how people might view them if they're coming in from the outside. So this is apparently an actual website for wedding dresses and other types of wedding accessories and things like that. And then you compare that to Kleinfeld, which is a major wedding dress manufacturer. If you're someone who's looking to make an investment and has a lot of emotions tied up in a purchase, are you going to trust the website with crazy fonts and colors and that doesn't really look professional, or are you going to trust the website that obviously has a lot of kind of professional polish behind it and looks like a big reputable company? So think about that when you're designing your website. There are a lot of sales pages out there that look like they were a little bit dated or maybe aren't as professional as they could be. So consider investing a little bit of money in a professional WordPress theme or working with a designer. They're not nearly as expensive as they used to be when people were hand coding everything in HTML. So you can find some really great designers out there that can make your website look very professional, put some great branding behind it, and make it something that people can actually trust and think, wow, this looks like a real business. Another thing that you can do to sort of add to that trust factor, I mentioned it in the last video that sometimes there's a disconnect when you're selling on ClickBank where people will leave your website, which looks one way, and go to the ClickBank order form, which has our branding on it. We now have a feature called custom order form that anyone can get applied to their account, and you can start using custom order form, where basically you can put your own branding and colors at the top and sides, and it just ties in with your website a lot closer and can really improve conversion rates when people go from your website to the ClickBank order form that has your own branding on it. It makes the process a lot more seamless, and people are happy to go ahead and buy because they trust that you're still the same person that they saw on the sales page. So here are a few examples. This one is for the jump manual. This one is for one of our health and fitness products called Body Weight Burn, and this one is for a product called My Shed Plans Elite. So they're basically just reusing branding and headers that exist on their main website to tie in nicely with the ClickBank order form, and it just makes the whole purchase process look a lot more seamless. So another thing that you can do when you're trying to build up that trust and people's willingness to go ahead and buy from you is to introduce proof elements. And these are things where you're basically proving that you can deliver on the result that you've told people they're going to get from your product. So the most common types are talking about specific results rather than just talking in generalities of saying, buy my product and you'll lose a lot of weight, or buy my product and you'll learn to play the piano quickly. If you can say, I've taught this many people how to do this, or you'll lose this type of weight in this amount of time based on the studies that I've done and that sort of thing, it's going to go a lot further than saying really general things. Next up is testimonials and reviews. So obviously getting testimonials from real life customers who've gone through your product and have gotten a lot out of it, or reviews that were written by unbiased third parties that are going to vouch for your product. You can point to those and say, look, these people used my product and got a lot out of it, or this trusted third party is saying good things about my product, so that's a good reason for you to check it out. And then finally, the guarantees, which every ClickBank product is required to offer a 60-day money-back guarantee. But reinforcing that and talking about how sure you are that people will get the results that you're happy to offer a guarantee, that can go a long way towards it as well. So let's look at some examples. These are some with specific results. This is talking about the specific things that someone will learn within a product. So these are things that people can identify with and say, oh, I've really struggled with that. And he's talking about where exactly in the product that you're going to learn these things. For testimonials and reviews, these are some good examples where they're from real customers. They talk about the specific results that the customer got and why they think it's worth other people buying. This is another one from the dog training niche with photos. Any kind of photos and real people's names that you can use is going to do a lot to reinforce that, okay, this is someone just like me, or this is a real person who got real results. This isn't just the product creator talking about how great their product is. So this testimonial talks about the specific problems they were having and how quickly they were able to turn it around. And then this is another great example from a diet product where it's got before and after photos. It gets into a lot of specifics with really compelling messaging about how much the person was struggling and they found the product and now they're doing a lot better. So those types of things can really show skeptical prospects that there's a lot to get out of your product and that they too can be a satisfied customer. So that goes a long way towards building trust. And then these are just some examples of the guarantees there. The same guarantee that all ClickBank clients are required to include, but they can be rebranded in different ways to match with your messaging, match color scheme and that sort of thing. And it just reinforces I really stand behind my product and believe in it. So now let's talk about how to build your reputation. If you're just getting started and you don't currently have a big following or you don't have a lot of traffic. So the first question is, do you have a platform? And by platform, I just mean somewhere where you can get your message out and where people can come and find you and learn more about you. So some examples of platforms might be a blog, it might be social media profiles, it might be a podcast or a YouTube channel where you produce content, something where you can start sort of broadcasting out to the world, but also interacting with people, having them find you and start to learn from you before you just present them with something to buy. So a platform is a great way to start building up a reputation and to start showing people that both you're trustworthy and that you have the knowledge and the chops needed to be able to deliver on your products. So if you don't have a platform, I really recommend that you start building one now. It's less expensive and easier than it's ever been. There are a lot of different ways you can do it, as I mentioned. So just pick the one that most interests you and that most resonates with you, and that you'll be consistent at doing. Um, so that's the great way to start building your platform. Second question is, do you have an email list? A lot of people don't, but if you don't, you really need to start building one now. And obviously, you're going to need a website where you can start capturing those leads and those email addresses. Um, because having an email list lets you build more trust, more engagement, and more action amongst your readers and followers. And that ends up equaling more conversions. It's really hard to get conversions when you basically just have one-off interactions with prospects where they hit your website and they either decide to buy or not, and if they don't buy, they leave and they're gone forever. But if you can offer them something for free that says, let me show you what I've got, let me show you that you can trust me and that I know what I'm talking about, and then you continue emailing them and saying, here's more great content I've got. And by the way, here's a product I have that you might be interested in that's going to let you overcome these challenges or get these results. You're going to get a lot more conversions out of that over time than if everybody you interact with, you just get one shot to sell them something. The next way to build some trust and reputation is to get traffic from trusted partners. People are out there that have those platforms and that have those email lists that might be willing to promote you or send traffic your way. And if they've already been building up that relationship and trust with their audience, and you can leverage that, that's going to be great for you. And you're going to get a lot better conversions out of that traffic than you would if you're getting traffic from sources that don't know you. So find ways to reach out and network with people in your space. It might be other product vendors, it might be people with a social media following in your space, and just start building real relationships. And then you can start talking to them about whether they'd be willing to send some traffic to your offer or to your website, because that's going to convert a lot better for you. So I actually kind of gave it away a little a little bit earlier, but the secret key to building trust in the information marketing space is consistency. And it's something that a lot of people skip because it's hard to stick with. They want to create a sales page, put it out there, never do anything again, and hope that people just happen to find it and happen to buy. But if you're regularly producing content, you're interacting with people, um, you're creating products or you're creating free reports that you give away, that type of consistency is going to build up your reputation over time in a way that will never happen if you try to enter a market and create something for it and then never participate again or never build any kind of following. So if you start a blog or if you start a web show, you got to stick with it. So pick something that you're going to be willing to work on because you're actually passionate about it and interested in it. Because if you can be consistent and consistently create really good content and help people, you're going to build up that trust and reputation, and then it's going to be easy to sell to people when the time comes to offer a product to them. So that's it for this video. Up next, we're going to talk about how to write effective copy. So I will see you then. Thanks.